Hi, I'm Azar Hedarian, Professor of Special Education at Ball State University. I will be co-presenting with two of my colleagues, Dr. Azel and Dr. Jones.
Hello, I'm Nina Azel in the Special Ed Department at Ball State University.
And I'm Ruth Jones, also in the Special Education Department at Ball State University. We noticed that our students approached the use of technology in the classroom at times differently than we thought they might have, and decided to explore their perceptions about technology. We really wanted to expand our knowledge base of just how students use technology in the college classrooms. Research is clear that technology is here to stay and that students appreciate instructors' use of technology in their classes. However, research is also clear that some instructors may or may not have proper skills in using technology and also may not effectively choose the times when technology can be most useful. Professors also historically may choose to even limit the technology that's being utilized in the classrooms. Lam and Tong did find that students tended to be more engaged and with technology, and that interactions were often enhanced by technology in the classroom. When we were designing this study, we did wonder about instructors' practices and student responses to technology. And of course, in any teaching setting, it really should not be about the technology itself. Technology is a wonderful tool, but the focus always has been and always will be, should be, about the teaching and the. Basically, we were wondering how students perceive instructors' use of technology and perhaps seeking to identify some practices that might enhance student learning. For example, several years ago, I had a student who was retaking a course for a higher grade. The first time she had taken the course, students were permitted free access to their computers. She did not do well. The second time she took the course, about midway through, she came to me and thanked me for limiting students' use of technology during that particular section of the course. She said, "I want to thank you for making me put my computer away, because the first time I took this class, I could not discipline myself enough to stay off of my email and my social networking sites. So I'm doing so much better this time in the class, and I just wanted to thank you for that." So research does tell us that students appreciate technology in the classroom. However, it's not just more technology that they want, but varied use of technology. We also know that sometimes instructors commit PowerPoint abuse, as Young puts it, simply by utilizing slides as digital overhead transparencies and not harnessing the power of the technology as it exists and as it's available to us. More is not always really better. So our study focused more on learning with technology and less on teaching with technology. We wanted to know what student perceptions are of their digital classrooms. Questions that we asked were, what are student perceptions of instructor use of technology? How do they look at, how do they perceive what happens in the lecture halls? And then, most interesting to me anyway, was how do they self-report their own use of technology during their time with their instructors? Dr. Haddad is going to talk to you about the study itself.
Our study had a subsample of 340 education major, and we had, in our question, we had 4 different sections. The first section was demographic data, And then in the second portion, we had some specific question related to technology. And in the third section, we had the Likert scale that we asked the student to answer from whether certain behavior or enhances, hinders, or neutral. So they had to respond to one of these three categories. And at the end, we had open-ended question. Based on the data that we collected, we found out that 80% of the students reported that they engaged in taking notes during the class time. 77% they indicated that access Blackboard. 62% look up information on the web. 59% access gradebook. And then complete in-class assignment. 58% make presentation to class, 46%, and then access to unified assessment system. So as you look at this one, where they engaged in about 59%, they complete in-class assignment, and then all of these actually other than look up information on the web, if it was not related to the content of the class, there's somehow it has the academic it has an academic focus, even though it was not directly related to the class itself. As we go to table 2, in table 2, the students are reporting that 76% are reporting that they engaged in checking their email, 62% use social media, 51% surf the net, and then even 4% of the student indicated that they slept during their class. If you compare table 1 and table 2, is that 80% are indicating that they're engaging in taking notes. Yet, if you look at this table 2, 76%, 62%, a large number, percentage of the students are saying they're engaged in other activities, non-academic activity. The question that we did not ask in our research, but it needs to be asked, is what percentage of time did the student engage in taking notes versus what percentage of time? So here we're reporting on the behavior, but not the time that was allocated for engagement in each of those behaviors. In table 3, we see that 65% of the student agreed with that the distractor, the main distractor, was the instructor. So this table shows very clearly that if the instructors or professors are not familiar with the technology, that was the number one distractor for them. Only 14%, in this data, only 14% indicated that using the media and other engagement within the PowerPoint was distractor. So from this table, our students or our sample are telling us that the instructors are number one. The inadequate or knowledge of the instructor about technology is the number one distractor, followed by the peers in the classroom getting engaged in non-academic behaviors with their computer. Now I'm asked Dr. Azel to continue the presentation.
Technology has certainly created a paradigm shift in teaching and learning. Our college classrooms are generally very well equipped and for 21st century learning, and training for faculty in the use of the latest equipment and software and programs is readily available, and yet we find that technology has not always been effectively integrated into the learning process. And so there are quite a few issues that must be considered. Whereas 46% of our respondents found other students' inappropriate use distracting is very important. It is instructors' responsibility to ensure that optimal learning is possible for all, and we can therefore not ignore these distractors. Instructors routinely include statements about inappropriate use in their syllabi, and that's important. But a far more proactive approach is necessary. Students can be asked to close their laptops during discussion time, but more importantly, instructors should explore strategies to ensure that laptop use is integrated into instruction. When laptops are used only for note-taking, students tend to disengage and use social media, especially if they know PowerPoints of the lectures are available on Blackboard or Moodle or other course delivery and management systems. Another possible distractor is instructors' use of technology, wasting class time when trying to set up a presentation, and of course the overuse of PowerPoint. Many instructors seem to have just transitioned from an overhead projector to PowerPoint and are not considering other presentation tools that are available. I might add that Prezi will probably soon become the new PowerPoint. It seems that we adopt one tool and put all our eggs in one basket. Just as teachers need a repertoire of teaching strategies for K-12 learning, instructors in higher education need to move away from a single format or teaching strategy. Cell phones, texting, social media are here to stay. These and other factors that we are not even aware of presently will present a challenge or continue to present a challenge for college instructors. We simply have to use technology more effectively. Limitations of the study, Dr. Ian will address those.
Our study was predominantly done by education major, and within our teachers college, all the students who enter into this into the education major, they must purchase a laptop. So as a result, they are being encouraged to use their laptop in the classroom. So we need to look at we need to include, future researcher need to include a larger random sample that includes students from other majors. I myself have noticed in a class when I had education and non-education major, the students who were not non-education major, they use their laptop less often relative to the student who were education major. So we need to look at the larger sample as well as a random sample. A larger sample would allow us to slice the data in different ways so we can have a more microscopic view of what is going on as it relates to the behavior of the college students. Also, we need to measure what portion of the class time the students are engaged in non-academic work. Within our study, we saw that 80% they said they were taking notes. At the same time, our study was not designed to measure what portion of the time those 80% of the students were engaged in note taking. It could be somewhere from 1 minute to 50 minutes. So future researchers need to look at the allocation of time or how much of time the students spend in exhibiting certain behaviors. Also, it would help to establish research like this, and future researcher may guide us to establish classroom guidelines for the use of the computer. As Dr. Azel said, that the technology is here and is going to be here today, tomorrow, and on. So it's very important that we establish a new guideline for the use of computers. Also, it's important for us to have a better understanding of the impact of the use of technology within the classroom. So a future researcher may want to look at the students who do use laptop computer during the class time and the one that do not use the computer during the class time. Dr. Jones shared an example of one of her students that she did better when she didn't use computer. So we need to look at that use of computer versus not use of computer and relation and the correlation of that with the student success in future research.